So let us continue discussing the assignment. So in this video I am going to discuss all the questions except the questions of finding out the shaded area. So that I'll make the next video. Fine. So in this question it is given that C1 and C2 are centers of two semicircles. Okay. So C1 and C2 are the centers of these two semicircles, and these are identical with equal radius r, and there is a circle which is touching these two semicircles inside P1 P2. So you need to find the radius of this small circle in terms of r. That is the question. And it is also given that C1 P1 by PQ is 1/7. So you need to find the radius of this small circle. So let us say the radius of small circle is r1. Okay. So C1 P1 is nothing but C1 P2 minus P1 P2. Okay, now I am trying to find P1 P2 in terms of r. So the C1 P1 I can write it as C1 P2 minus P1 P2, but C1 P2 is anyways r minus P1 P2. And what is PQ? PQ, if you observe, this is r, this is r, okay, this is r and this is r. So if you add all these r's, you can see that P1 P2 is getting added twice. So it is r plus r plus r plus r, that is 4r minus P1 P2. Okay, so PQ is 4r minus P1 P2. Now the ratio is 1/7, so r minus P1 P2 by 4r minus P1 P2 is 1/7, and if you just simplify this, you will get P1 P2 as r/2. Fine. Now let us try to find the radius of this small circle. So let radius of small circle be r1. So this is r1. So this is perpendicular, right? Because the small circle is touching these two circles, and also it is touching the line PQ. This is also mentioned in the question. So this is perpendicular. Let us say the center is C3. Okay, this point is C3. So what is C3 C2? C3 C2 is nothing but r minus r1, because if two circles touch internally, then distance between their centers is this total distance r minus this radius r1. Okay, and anyways we know that the perpendicular C3D is small r1. And what about C2D? C2D is nothing but C2P1 minus say P2D minus P1D. Okay, so C2D is nothing but C2P1 minus P1D, but P1D and P2D are equal by symmetry, right? Because both the circles are of equal radii. So P1D, P2D are equal, and they are equal to P1 P2 by 2. So C2 P1 is nothing but r minus P1D is P1 P2 by 2. So this is r minus r/4, right? So this is 3r by 4. So now we know C2D, we know C3D, and we know C2C3. So let us just use the Pythagoras theorem. So C2 C3 whole square is equals to C2D whole square plus C3D whole square. So this will implies that r minus r1 whole square is equals to 3r by 4 whole square plus r1 square, and we need to find r1 in terms of r. So let us just square it. R square minus 2r1r plus r1 square is equals to 9r square by 16 plus r1 square. So r1 square gets cancelled. So 2r1r is nothing but 7r square over 16, right? So then r1 is nothing but 7r by 13. So this is the radius of smaller circle in terms of r. So just pause the video and you copy the solution, and then we'll move on to next problem. Fine. So 7th question was very simple, so I just skipped that. So in the 8th question, there is a circle of radius 1 which passes through D. So there are 4 circles A, B, C and D. D is the bigger circle. So these small circles are externally tangent to each other, and all these 3 circles are internally tangent to bigger circle D. Fine. And circles B and C are given as congruent. Congruent means of equal radii. Let us say equal radii is R. So let radius of B is equals to C is equals to R. So now circle A has radius 1 and passes through center of D. So this is very important. Circle A has radius 1. This is the point of contact of circle A with D, and this is the center of A. So we know that point of contact and both the centers are collinear. So if I join these two, that is the point of contact P and the center of A, then this line should pass through the center of D, right? So let us do it again. I am joining the point of contact and the center of A. So since the D and A are tangent to each other, the centers of A, D and point of contact must be collinear. So if I join point of contact and center of A, it should pass through the center of D. This line passes through center of D. But it is given that circle A passes through center of D. So you can see that this point is nothing but the center of D. Okay. So this is nothing but center of D. So let us say this point is O. So circle A has radius 1, then clearly you can see that circle D has radius 2. So radius of D is nothing but 2. Fine. Also, I am just joining the centers. Let us say this center is itself B. Okay, the name of the circle is B, but I am naming the center as B, the center as A, and the center as C. So I am joining AB, BC and AC. Fine. So AB will be 1 plus R, right? This is R, this is 1. Similarly, this will be equal to AC, and BC will be R plus R, which is 2R. If two circles touch externally, distance between their centers is nothing but sum of the radii. Fine. And what about OB2? OB2 is nothing but difference of radii of bigger circle and the small circle, right? This is the distance between centers of B and D. So this is equal to difference of radii, because these are internally tangent. So radii of D is 2 and radii of B is R. Okay. So this length is 2 and this length is R. So this BO is nothing but 2 minus R. And similarly OC is also 2 minus R. Okay. So I mean you can see that this triangle ABC is isosceles, right? With AB equal to AC. So this will be perpendicular, right? By symmetry this is perpendicular and these two are equal to R. So this is perpendicular. Fine. Let us say this point is some K. Okay. Now if you see this right angle triangle, this is R, this is 2 minus R, then you can find OK, right, in terms of 2 minus R and R. And if you see this bigger right angle triangle, you know this is 1 plus R, this is R, then you can find AK. So OK square is nothing but OB square minus BK square, which is 2 minus R whole square minus R square, right? And AK square is AB square minus BK square, which is R plus 1 whole square minus R square. Okay. Fine. But you know that AK is nothing but 1 plus OK, right? AK is 1 plus OK. So AK you can write it as square root of, this is R square plus 2R plus 1 minus R square. Square root of 2R plus 1, this is AK, which is 1 plus OK. So this is square root of, if you just simplify this, R square will get cancelled and you will get 4 minus 4R. Okay. So now I mean you can simplify this, the square one time, and if on squaring you will get 2R plus 1 is equals to 1 plus 4 minus 4R and plus 2 root 4 minus 4R. Fine. So now just bring these terms to this side and square one more time. You will get the value of r. Okay, so you will get the value of r as 8/9. So this is the answer. The radii of circle B is 8/9. Fine. So I have just done most of the part in the diagram itself, and the calculation also I have left it to you. Okay, so just pause the video and write a detailed solution, and then move on to the next problem. Yes, so in this question you can see that there is a square and this is a circle, and these four are equal circles. These are tangent to this circle and square. So these are of radii 1. So I am doing this problem in the figure itself. So this is 1, this is 1. Okay, this is perpendicular. So this distance, that is the vertex to center of this circle, this is √2. Okay, so this is √2, this is also √2, and this is 1, this is 1, and this is 2 plus 2, which is 4. So √2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus √2 is nothing but diagonal of square. So diagonal of square is √2 times the side of square. Okay, let's do it one more time. This is the center of smaller circle, and I have dropped perpendiculars each of length 1. So this is √2, this is 1, 2, 2, 1, and similarly √2. So all this is diagonal of square, which is √2 times side. So from here you will get the side, and then if you want the area of square, you just square it. Okay, so I'll leave the calculation to you. Let's move on to the next question. So it is given that 6 points are equally spaced around a circle of radius 1. 3 of these points are vertices of a triangle that is neither equilateral nor isosceles. Find its area. Okay, so the important thing is the triangle is neither equilateral nor isosceles. So since 6 points are equally spaced, so let us say if one point is here, say point number say point A. Okay, so this is point A. Now point B will be 60 degrees, right? It will be 60 degrees to this OA. So say O is the center, so point B will be at 60 degrees to OA, because 6 points are equally spaced, so angle between everything is 60 degrees. So the points would be something like this, right? So the angle between each is 60, 60, 60, 60, 60 and 60. So these are the points A, B, C, D, E and F. Now among these 3 points you need to choose a triangle which is neither equilateral nor isosceles. So if you choose this type of triangle, then it is going to be equilateral, right? That is, you have left 1 vertices in between. And if I select AB, AF and BF, okay, then this is isosceles because AB is equals to AF. Similarly, AC, AE, CE is anyways equilateral. So now how can you select a triangle which is neither equilateral nor isosceles? For that, what I am doing is I am taking AB, then I am taking say BD, okay, and other side is DA. So this is just one gap, this is the 60 and this is 2 times, that is 120, and this is 3, that is 180. So I'm taking the points, so +1 and +2 and +3, 1, 2, 3. So then this triangle ABD is neither equilateral nor isosceles. So there are many more triangles like this. So you can take this one, you can take this one, you can take this one. All of those will have equal area. So triangle ABD is neither equilateral nor isosceles. So this is our required triangle. So clearly AD is nothing but 2, right? Because it is the diameter and radius is 1. Fine. Now this is what? This is 90 degrees because AD is the diameter. Okay. Fine. Now since this is 60, and OB is equal to OA. So this triangle OBA is equilateral, right? Because OB is equals to OA and this is 60. So then this angle is also 60 and this is 30. So now you can see that this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and we know the specialty of this, right? The side opposite to 30 is half of hypotenuse. So AB is half of AD, which is equal to 1. So by Pythagoras theorem, BD is equals to square root of 4 minus 1, which is root 3. So then the required area of triangle ABD is half times AB times BD, half base height, so it is half times root 3. Okay, so this is the area of the required triangle. So pause the video, copy the solution, and then move on to the next problem. Okay, so this is the 15th problem of your assignment. Here it is given that triangle ABC is isosceles with AB is equals to AC, AD is the diameter, O is the center of the circle, and these diagonals intersect at point E in the quadrilateral ABCD. Diagonals intersect at point E. F is the midpoint of OE. Length of BC is given as 2 root 5 and you need to find the length of CD square. Okay, let us see how do we solve this problem. First of all, since this triangle is isosceles, okay, and this is the diameter, so you can say that if I just draw a perpendicular from O to the chord, this would be 90, 90 and this would bisect it, right? And since this is an isosceles triangle, this will definitely pass through A, because perpendicular from A to this chord also bisects it, and perpendicular from O to this chord also bisects it, because this is an isosceles triangle. Perpendicular from A to chord also bisects it. So finally, I mean, all these three, if I join, this is perpendicular and this will bisect it. Okay, so this is equal, AE is perpendicular to BC and it will bisect it, that is, these two are equal, BE is equals to EC and this is perpendicular. Fine. Okay, and since this is an isosceles, so this angle is this angle. So triangle ABD is clearly congruent to triangle ADC, right? Because these two sides are equal, this is common and this is a common angle, equal angle. So these two are congruent by SAS. So this simply implies that BD is equals to DC. Perfect. So BD is equals to DC. Also, now let us join this FB. Let us join this FB. Okay. So say this angle is theta, that is angle BAD. This is theta. Fine. So then what about angle ABE? This is 90 minus theta, right? Because this is 90, so this angle is 90 minus theta. Also, since AD is the diameter, then this angle ABD is 90. Okay, so if this is 90 minus theta, then this angle is again theta. So this implies angle EBD is theta. Okay, so I mean, you don't write directly in this way, you just write all the steps, that this is 90 minus theta and then this is theta. So this is also equal to theta. Fine. Also, you can see that it is given BD is parallel to FC. I think I have missed the data in the question. In the question it was given that BD is parallel to FC, if I am not wrong. Let me just check it. Yes, in the question it is mentioned that BD is parallel to FC. So we have missed this data in the question. So BD is parallel to FC. Fine. So then this angle will also be theta, right? Because these are the alternate interior angles. So if this is theta, then this is also theta. And also you can see that this is theta because this is theta by the same logic for this one. Okay, so then in a similar way this is also theta. Okay, so now you can see that these two sides are parallel. Okay, and clearly you can see that these two triangles are congruent, right? You can say that BED and EDC are also congruent because two angles are equal and ED is the common side. Okay, so just a second. So triangle BED is congruent to triangle CED. This simply implies that BD is equals to DC, right? Also you can notice that triangle BFE is congruent to triangle BED, right? So this point is F. This point is F. Okay, so these two triangles are also congruent, right? You can simply prove it by two angles and one common side. So then BF is also equal to BD, right? Also FE is equals to ED. So now you can easily deduce that this quadrilateral is a rhombus because BD is equals to DC is equals to FB and these two are parallel, and also the diagonals bisect each other. So clearly you can say that BDFC is a rhombus, BDCF is a rhombus. Okay, so since F is the midpoint of OE, this is given in the question, F is the midpoint of OE, let OF is equals to X. This simply implies FE is equals to X, and this implies ED is equals to X, right? So if this is X, then this is also X, and since diagonals bisect each other, these two are equal, this is also X. Now since OD is 3x, OA is also equal to 3x. So this implies OA is equals to OD is equals to 3x. So this is 3x, x, x and x. Fine. Now our ultimate aim is what? Our ultimate aim is to find the length of CD. So let us try to spot the similar triangles here. I can see that triangle ABE is similar to triangle BED. So triangle ABE is similar to triangle BED because two angles are equal, right? Theta is here, and 90. So these two triangles are similar. So let us just use the proportionality of sides. So I can say that AB, which is opposite to 90, AB over BD, right? This is equal to BD over ED, which is opposite to theta. So AB over BD is equals to BE over ED. This is equals to AE over BE. So this is AE over BE. Now let us see what we can use from this. So AB is AB only because I don't know anything about the length of AB, right? So let it be in this way. AB is AB. BD, what about BD? BD is also BD. We don't know anything about BD. BE is nothing but BC by 2. So this is root 5. Since BC is 2 root 5, BE is root 5. And ED, you can see that this is equal to X, right? ED is X. And AE over BE. So AE is nothing but 5x. AE is 5x, right? AE is 5x over BE. BE is again root 5. Okay, so these two are proving out to be useful. I mean, this is not so useful here. So here you can say that 5 is equals to 5x square, so this implies x is equals to 1. Okay, so this length is 1, this length is how much? Root 5. So this length is also root 5 and this is 1. So CD we can find out as root over 5 plus 1, so it is root 6. So CD is nothing but square root of 5 plus 1, it is root 6. So then CD square is nothing but 6. This is what we needed to find.